Right here, I'm going to talk about what I've called free actions in cockroaches, copper and cows. These are things you can do when it's your turn to act during the campaign phase, but they don't count as the action you can take. In fact, they are free. You can take as many of them as you like. They don't cause fatigue and they don't cost you any money. I'm going to start at the bottom because it makes more sense that way. The bottom thing is move munitions, goods and brigades. Munitions and brigades move more or less the same way. They can be moved from anywhere where you can operate to anywhere else you can operate. So in this case, this brigade here could move here or here, or to the base. Because brigades can only ever exist with a base or a garrison, while in theory you could move the brigade to these places, it can't go there because it can't end up there. So it's limited to these three places. Munitions work the same way. This munition could go here to support the brigade, or over here to to hide and do not very much. He can also move these to towns that other people control to transfer control to them. So he could move this to here. He could give it to the federales if he was feeling strangely generous. He can't move into the other people's wilderness areas, but he can move it to the town. So that's moving them. Munitions and brigades also move whenever you move your base, which is sort of obvious, but I don't think I've actually said it anywhere. Goods move slightly differently because they effectively use the commercial rail network rather than the military one we're all supposed to be using here. Goods can move as far as they like along railways, provided you get permission from the owners of towns on the railways. And you don't need to have your base on the, we don't need to have your base on the rail, as long as somebody somewhere can give you permission. You can just move the goods along it. So if this good here starts in Casas Grande, it can move to Ciudad Juarez, which is the sort of place it wants to go to because you want to get goods to ports. It could move here, but then the federales would steal it, so that's a bad idea. If Villa controlled Cuauhtémoc, like so, and he had a good there, he can move it to Juarez if Orozco gives him permission, because Orozco controls both these towns on the way. Goods also get to make one other move from where they're produced in the wilderness. So in this case, this good here, produced here, can make one hop to a town on the railway. So this good can move to here. This then lets them carry on moving along the railroads. A town that starts, a good that starts in an industry that is not connected to a town, so like this chili farm here, is not connected to any towns, so that good can never get into the rail network because it's only allowed one hop from where it starts. So you might as well sell it locally because you can never export it. Presumably the Americans don't like chilies very much at this time. There is one slightly odd quirk lurking on this map, and there's a couple of other incidences. Here a trail links directly to a railroad, and the only use of that bit of trail is to hop, and that bit of railroad for that matter, is to let a good hop onto the railroad and get into the town. That's all these do. I think there's only 3 cases like this on all the maps, so it's not very common. But that's all it lets you do. It doesn't let people in this town operate in this wilderness area or anything like that. All it does is strictly that lets you export your goods, because that represents a minor mining railroad that was built at some point. I think that's moving goods. The top action I'll go and do next is selling goods. It says you can sell them for $40 in a port or for $20 locally, and this is why you want to get them to the port, because they're worth twice as much there. But it may well require the cooperation of other players to do that, and you may need to grease the wheels a bit if there's several players in the way. But we may find it better to sell your goods to them and let them export them. The last action we have on our card is the one in the middle, order munitions, which cost $30 each. You can order a maximum of 4 if you have access to a port, or 2. Access to a port means that you could operate in that port, so your base has to be on the railroad, and you have to be able to trace a line through friendly spaces to the port. So Orozco here can clearly operate in the port because he controls both these 2 spaces. Villa can't because it's in the wilderness, and when you're in the wilderness you can never have access to a port because you can never operate there. And if your port base was here, but Villa's base was here, he could have access, provided Roscoe gave him permission to use this rail route. But it required a deal to be made. Put that back there. I think that's all about this. Oh, there's one more thing about goods. You can give goods to other people. You don't need to sell goods straight away. You can wait. If you think you're going to quickly gain access to a port later, you might want to save them and sell them for more later. Although generally, if you can't do that, you want to sell them quickly for a lower amount. I mentioned that this industry is not connected to a town, so it can never export its goods. I said that already, didn't I? Yep. I think. Okay, that's that. Next will be combat.